Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jaum Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Asotra Sotra Sadivindra Sase Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai Prem Sako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhattacharya Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Makund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Dwarka Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Saraswati Maya Ki Jai, Shrimati Tulasi Devi Malani Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, distribution transcendantale de Srimad Bhagavatam, distribution transcendantale de Bhagavad Prasadam Ki Jai, distribution transcendantale de l'île de Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, gloire à Srila Prabhupada, gloire aux dévots assemblés, gloire au Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Sarasvati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So, vous parlez anglais, Mataji? You don't speak French, do you?
No, good enough now.
Okay. So, before presenting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very mean of our conquest, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto the most perfect human beings, unto Narayan, and also unto our mother, the goddess of learning, Saraswati, goddess of learning. By regularly study of Srimad Bhagavatam, as well by serving the pure devotee of the Lord, all that which inauspicious in the heart of the Bhakta become gradually extinguished, and pure devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 13, text 60. So you don't
that
have...
should be, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that should be correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you cannot... it's not on the board or something.
No, what? You have your phones?
Vous avez votre téléphone, Nathalie?
10, 13, 60.
Yeah. So, Yatra Nesarga Durvera Yatra Nesarga Durvera Sahasan Nri Mrigadaya,
Mrigadaya,
Sahasandri Mrigadaya,
Sahasandri Mrigadaya,
Mitran,
Mitrani,
Ivajitavasa,
Ivajitavasa,
Druta, Rut,
Tarshakadikam,
Yatra Lesarga Durvera, Sahasandri Mrigadaya, Mitrani Vajitavasa, Drutarut Tarsakadikam, Yatra Nesarga Durvera, Ya Hasandri Mrigadaya, Mitrani Vajitavasa, Drutarut Tarsakadikam, Yatra Nesarga Durvera,
Sahasandri
Mrigadaya,
Mitrani Vajitavasa,
Nitravajitavasa,
Drutaruttasakadikam,
Yatra Nasarga
Durvaira,
Sahasandri Mrigadaya,
Sahasrandri Mrigadaya,
Mitrani Vajitavasa,
Drutaruttasakadikam,
Dasharagamida Malava ki jai, Krishna Balaram ki jai. Beautifully dressed in yellow and red. So, Yatra, where? Nisarga, by nature. Durvira, living in enmity. Sa'asan, live together. Nri, human beings. Mriga Adaya, and animals. Mitrani, friends. Iva, like. Ajita, of Lord Sri Krishna. Avasa, residence. Druta, gone away. Root, anger. Tarska adikam, thirst, and so on. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. You can repeat after me, please. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger, or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. Purport. The word vana means forest. Vrindavana. Vana means forest. We are afraid of the forest and do not wish to go there. But in Vrindavan, the forest animals are as good as demigods, for they have no envy. Even in this material world, in the forest, the animals live together, and when they go to drink water, they do not attack anyone. Envy develops because of sense gratification, but in Vrindavan there is no sense gratification, for the only aim is Krishna's satisfaction. Even in this material world, the animals in Vrindavan are not envious of the sadhus who live there. The sadhus keep cows and supply milk to the tigers, saying, "Come here and take a little milk." I don't know, maybe, have you seen tigers in Vrindavan?
No.
Anyway, maybe in Prabhupada's time there were still tigers. I don't know. This envy and malice are unknown in Vrindavan. That is the difference between Vrindavan and the ordinary world. We are horrified to hear the name of Bana, the forest. Here, but in Vrindavan, there is no such horror. Everyone there is happy by pleasing Krishna. Krishna kirtana ganana vatakaro paro. Whether a Goswami or a tiger or other ferocious animals, everyone's business is the same, to please Krishna. Even the tigers are also devotees. This is the specific qualification of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, everyone is happy. The calf is happy, the cat is happy, the dog is happy, the man is happy, everyone. Everyone wants to serve Krishna in different capacity, and thus there is no envy. One may sometimes think that the monkeys in Vrindavan are envious because they cause mischief and steal food. But in Vrindavan we find that the monkeys are allowed to take butter, which Krishna himself distributes. Krishna personally demonstrates that everyone has the right to live. This is Vrindavan life. Why should I live and you die? No, that is material life. The inhabitants of Vrindavan think, whatever is given by Krishna, let us divide it as prasadam and eat. This mentality cannot appear all of a sudden, but it will gradually develop with Krishna consciousness. By sadhana, one can come to this platform. In this material world, one may collect funds all over the world in order to distribute food freely. Yet those to whom the food is given may not even feel appreciated. The value of Krishna consciousness, however, will gradually be very much appreciated. For instance, in an article about the temple of the Hare Krishna movement in Durban, South Africa, the Durban Post reported all the devotees here are very active in the service of Lord Krishna, and the results are obvious to see. Happiness, good health, peace of mind, and the development of all good qualities. This is the nature of Vrindavan. Alav abhaktasya kuto mahaguna. Without Krishna consciousness, happiness is impossible. One may struggle, but one cannot have happiness. We are therefore trying to give human society the opportunity for a life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God consciousness. Omagyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksul Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but with the transcendental torchlight of knowledge, my spiritual master has opened my darkened eyes. I offer him my respectful obeisances. So Vrindavan is the eternal abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. What is this verse? Indriya priti vansha tare bolikam, Krishnandriya priti vansha dare premnam. This is the fine line between love and lust. As Chaitanya Prabhu says, Krishnandriya priti vansha. The desire to please Krishna's senses, tare premnam. This is called love. But Atmandriya priti vansha dare prem kam. Desire to gratify our own senses, it's called lust. That's what makes the big difference between Vrindavan spirit and material consciousness. We all came here to gratify our senses, isn't it? Somehow or other, through the mind, through the ears, through the nose, through all kind of places on the body. And this is the very cause of our entanglement. Because the senses, I would say, in the prayer to before prasadam, Sarira Vijaya, the body is simply but ignorance, this body. And the senses lead to death. And the senses lead to death. But we have the opportunity to eat this wonderful prasadam, to become master of the senses. And of all the senses, the most voracious and difficult to control is the tongue. But by the mercy of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, we can have this prasadam to our satisfaction and control this formidable enemy, which is the tongue and the mind and everything. Recently, as you know, Keshava Maharaj was here and he was giving class, and ultimately he used to say that we have no enemy in this world. The real enemy is the mind. For him who has controlled the mind, he becomes the best friend. But for him who did not control the mind, becomes the worst enemy. And we see in the society today, it's become kind of the disease of this age is mental disorder among the society, And we know, or maybe that France are the greatest consumers of antidepressants and all these medicines, because people are not satisfied, are not happy. But I can see now there is a rise in the society of people which are questioning, what we have everything, but what is this world, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, the human life actually, and people sometimes are coming to their senses, maybe a lot due to this movement, the Sankirtan movement. We can see people, there is much more concern about animal atrocities pertain toward animals. And there is a group now in France, imagine the situation. They are manifesting, I don't know if they are vegans, but they are society protecting the animals. they want to bring the level of slaughter of animals in France to 600 million animals slaughtered. That's their goal, their ambition, to diminish the number of animals killed to 600 million.
From?
600 million.
From what?
I don't know the other one. Imagine, it's by billions, every day or every year that animals are slaughtered, as you know, with a terrible life they have to suffer in different conditions. But we see here that the mentality by which everyone wants to please Krishna is it creates a totally different atmosphere, Vrindavan atmosphere, where there is no envy. Prabhupada used to say, you can measure your advancements in Krishna consciousness according to what extent you've become free from jealousy. Prabhupada said, are you envious? Are you jealous? And as you know, the definition of envy, according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is that we are very pleased to see the suffering of others, and we are very displeased, or we cannot tolerate the happiness of others. That's definition of envy: being happy of the distress of others, and being being happy of the distress of others, and become distressed, and become being happy of the distress of others, and become être heureux du bonheur d'autrui, being distressed of the happiness of others, and becoming happy of the distress. Anyway, you see what I want to say. This is what, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what actually everybody is bound with. My Guru Maharaj used to say, don't fool yourself, don't cheat yourself, thinking that you're not envious, because the very reason we came here is because we are originally envious of Krishna. Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for the garlands. Nice flowers. Nice season. It's so beautiful, the weather, everything here. Amazing. I was in Paris, for so many years. In Paris, we believe that because there is one tree, two trees, in the landscape, at our vision, we believe that we are in a natural environment, but it's nothing compared to here. So beautiful, this explosion of greenery, of green color also, chlorophyll. So many animals. So this movement, actually, Prabhupada, according to Srila Prabhupada, to accept Krishna consciousness is not even optional, it's compulsory. And he boldly says that it is the only means by which we can save the human condition, and not only the human, the animal. Prabhupada came as the savior, as we said, came to save this. That's his motive, to save the human race of the wrong direction which it has gone to. And at the end of the purport, he's saying, therefore, trying to give human society the opportunity for life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God consciousness. So there is, human life, Ananda Mayo Gyasat, the nature of every living entity, whether being, or it is Krishna, or a tree, or an animal, or a living entity, we're all looking for happiness, It remembers me once, I think it was words which has been said by John Lennon, John Lennon, one of the former Beatles, who died, 9 bullets in his body. But there was a survey or question asked by his teacher, what do you want to be when you want to be a big man, So one say, I want to be a plane driver, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, and I want to be happy. So, and the doctor says, I don't think you've understood my question. And then the John Lennon used to have said, but you did not really understand the purpose of life. It's true. What is the goal of life? It's to be happy, what else? And everybody's looking for happiness somehow or other, these 4 directions, trying to find a treasure, north, and I don't know exactly, maybe you can help. There is a ghost, and south there is a snake, and east and west there is wasps, which attack you. That's the difference of means to reach happiness through mystic powers, this and that. And east, it is by devotional service. It can be attained very easily. Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasa Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhaya. That simply by maybe a very Svalpo means, Alpo means little, Svalpo means very little, by just very little practice of devotional service, one can be saved from the greatest kind of fear. And what is the greatest type of fear? What is the greatest fear?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Prabhupada is saying the purport is say it is to take birth in the lower species of life. Become a cat or a spider or a dog, having to, or little bird,
The greatest fear of a Vaishnava, yeah?
Huh?
The greatest fear of a Vaishnava.
For everybody. For everybody, all of us, but Vaishnava, they are in another realm, But that's the worst thing who can happen, to fall again in the cycle of birth and death, and not only this, but in species where there is no question of God consciousness, and where suffering is all pervading. Prabhupada gives also a very gross example, of the hogs, for example, who thinks he is happy, but if you see from a broader perspective, from a broader perspective, we see that the life of a hog is very filthy. It's just he's eating all kind of dirty things, up to stool. Thank you, Prabhu. And but there is a story. We can maybe feel very laughing. This will never be a hog or this. What is this? But there is this story when Lord Indra had been cursed on the earthly planets due to his mischief. Indra is always doing something wrong, and he was condemned to become a hog, and he was living, he was in this little square, and with a sausage slaughterhouse nearby, but he had his wife, his little babies, and and then after some time, Indra came and told him, oh my dear, no, not Indra, one demigod, maybe Brahma. Yeah, Brahma. He came to him, hey, my dear Indra, now your punishment is over, you can come back and being reinstalled in your natural position as the king of heaven. But Indra said, no, why? I'm happy here with my wife and my children. We have so much comforts, and that's Avaratmika. That's the Maya. Maya is covering us, that whatever situation we are put in with, we think we are happy and well situated, you know. But with the vision of the sadhus, by which we can be elevated, you know, they have compassion, you know. They have compassion. They see our condition. That's a condition which is very, very. Even if you want to stay in this, even you cannot stay in this material world. Even if we feel satisfied, you know. And I remember many years ago, I went from where Srila Prabhupada used to meditate on his mission in the West. It's in the Rajadharma temple, right, in Vrindavan. And if those who've gone to Vrindavan, you do parikram of the temple, and that place there's all the samadhis of the saints, you know, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and there is also the Rupa Goswami and the samadhis. And there is also the Puspa Samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj. So a bit casually, you know, as you know, we are parikramis, so you know, we go from one holy place to another. I offered my obeisances before the Samadhi, Puspa Samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, you know, and it came directly right, very hard in my heart, you know, very, you know, massive in my heart, that who has ever gone back to Vaikuntha Loka, to the spiritual world, without the mercy of a Vaishnava? And I was very emotional, you know, because by ourselves, practically, there is no chance. That's why, you know, Indradyumna Swami, you know, he used to say this Krishna consciousness movement is not a movement of qualification, it's a movement of relation. You know, you can be, you know, the most exalted scientist or this or that. That will not qualify you to go back to God. It's by being connected with someone which is dear to Krishna that you can be raised to the spiritual world. Even in this world, you know, if you want to be, I don't know, there are so many clubs, you know, if you are not sponsored or you're not introduced by some other people, you cannot enter these kind of clubs. That's why we have to be, and I think I think it's in Upadeshamrita, they talk about the relation, you know, that how we deal with a superior, you know, in the material world we deal with superior, we are envious of the superiors, the equal we fight, and the under subordinate we oppress, you know. It seems a bit strange, but we see in this world what these wars, you know, people bombing each other, you know. But the spiritual reality is that we serve the superior, we make friends with the equals, and we feel compassionate towards the lowers, those who are more, what is the word? Junior to us, you know. And it's, yeah, if we become, we can, you know. Me personally, I remember that is very important. I was in a religious movement before, you know, before I joined ISKCON so many years ago, and at a certain point I blooped from there. They didn't say bloop, they said another word. But I realized at that time, if I had a friend in this movement, I would not have gone away, you know. And I think, I don't know why, Indradyumna Swami Maharaj words comes to me. He says, because he has a friend which is named Bhakti Bringa Maharaj, you know. He says, I think if I didn't have this friend, Bhakti Bringa Maharaj, as my friend, maybe I don't know if I would have been able to stay in this movement. So, it's very important that we have someone, you know, we have to. Of course, Krishna is the best friend, but we need someone which is, you know, close to us. So it's very important. And I think Prabhupada has created this movement to give saintly association to the people of this age, first of all. And as we say, in the prayers, by practicing Krishna consciousness, all that is inauspicious in our hearts become nullified, and we become saintly. We can become, simply by following the four regulative principles, already. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. We are always above the reach of Kali, ultimately. The dungeons, where Kali has his grip, is with slaughterhouses, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sexual activities. That's why though Kali doesn't have any grip on us, but how can he get on our? Can he become victorious on us? Kali
divide us.
Yeah,
Quarrel.
quarrel. Yeah. And my Guru Maharaj used to say, the most deadly weapon of Kali is quarrel amongst devotees. So we should pray, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhattacharya. Please protect us from the onslaughts of Kali. Yeah. And I remember at that time, it was in the early 80s, when Bhattacharya Maharaj, he was very disgusted by what was going on the GBC level, because some of the recidivist foreign people were doing politics to conquer over the GBC, and he was really disgusted, of the situation. So he also, thinking of leaving ISKCON. But there's 3 words of Srila Prabhupada which has maintained him, is GBC is the highest managerial authority in ISKCON. If you love me, you cooperate. And whatever happens, don't leave ISKCON. So somehow or other, with these 3 injunctions of Prabhupada, he tolerated the situation, and eventually the people who were politically minded get removed, and the situation was settled after Prabhupada's departure. So yeah. So of course, spiritual life is challenge. It's a challenge to the modern society, which is where the goals, actually there is no goal in modern society, but we have the goal at least to be able to please Krishna, and that's was, as it stated in this verse, that everybody is mindset to please Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure. That's very basic, basic understanding, Like, the analogy of the fingers with the stomach, Fingers, they are a bit tired, oh la la. We are feeding the stomach all the time, and it does nothing. We are doing so much work, grabbing things. Why should we feed the stomach? We should take everything for us, independently for the stomach. But very simple, if you don't feed the stomach, the fingers themselves won't be fed. That's very simple. And they realize after some time they were feeling kind of weak, and so they give back again the food to the stomach. Unless we please Krishna, which is the controller for everything, and with the injunction of the spiritual masters and the people who are aware of the Vedic society, what is right, what is wrong, the society goes to destruction. Or the other example is given of the trees, if you want to feed the branches and the leaves of the tree, it will not nothing will happen. We have to feed the root. We have to. So the society's welfare depends of how we surrender to Krishna. Actually, Sarvadhanam Parityaja Mamikam Saranam Raja Ham Ram Sarvapapavyu Mokshaishanim Masuta. Surrender to me and abandon all types of activities or religion or I don't know what. And so just simply surrender to me all the consequences of your your activities. I will free you. I will free you from the resultant of your past sinful activities. So the path is clear. The path is clear. Prabhupada has given us this path. What is this verse? Makshita madbhasa prana bodayantak parasparam katayantastamam nitya kusyantitashamam nitya. My pure devotee always observe that thought in me and discuss about me, and by they surrender their life to me, and by this they derive perfect happiness and bliss. So we are completely in this situation now that we are discussing about Krishna Katha. Very simple actually, Discuss about the activities of Krishna, Krishna's pastimes. This devotee Satarup Maharaj, he used to say this, that simply by reading Krishna book you can go back to God. And what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Karma Dhamma Divyam These who understand the transcendental nature of my appearance and my activities does not have to come back in this mature world. Leaving his body, he comes back to my eternal abode. And I remember, sometime, because it doesn't mean because you are a devotee, you don't have to endure some hardship. And I was quite in a difficult situation. And this nice verse came back to me, that there is another realm than this material world. And he says, the yogis which are imbued with devotion, these noble souls, once they have reached me, never come back to this material world, which is a place of suffering. So we can all, in quite extreme situation, we can say to ourselves, actually, this is not the only reality. There is another world, like this in this verse, where the animals, they have no envy towards each others, and it's due to be willing to gratify our senses, which is a cause of envy, competition. But there, everybody is just willing. All animals are willing to please Krishna, and there is no envy between human beings and animals. And like in Jarikonda forest, Chaitanya Prabhu. So yeah, the devotee melt the hearts of everybody, change the hearts of everybody. Actually, I've heard that. What Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj gave empowered different of his disciples with different Shakti, with power, and some he had just a Shakti to be quite comfortable in the temple, is that, But he gave to Prabhupada Prachar Shakti, I think, the power to change the hearts of the people in the world, And we can see this Bhagavad Gita as it is has changed the life of so many people, Butchers became cow worshippers and change of hearts. Because as you know, Krishna consciousness, love for Krishna is existing eternally in our heart. The only thing is to manifest it. It's not something imposed, imposition on the mind. It's a natural process. So this process of Krishna consciousness is to, especially to chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Cleanse the hearts of all unwanted, and eventually, Krishna will be able to inject in us Krishna prem, the love of Krishna, which is the goal of our lives, And as we say, Tavakatam Ritam Tadvajivanam. Excuse me. And when Chaitanya Prabhu, after the Ratha Yatra, I think, he was lying down in the garden, and King Prataparudra, he wanted to have the association of Chaitanya Prabhu, but Chaitanya Prabhu refused. He told him, "I'm a sannyasi. This man is a king. Kings are in touch of pound and shillings and fightings and women, everything." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to associate with him. So King Prataparudra, he was very determined. He said, "If I'm not able to chant to have the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will give up my post as a king. I will wear a ring in my ear." Those who wear rings in their ear like this, I don't know which one, on the right or the left, mean they are just wandering people, travelers. I will take the condition of a traveler and I will just go somewhere, whatever. So the devotee told him, "You just wear the simple cloth of Vaishnava, and when Chaitanya Prabhu will take rest in such and such garden in Puri, I don't remember the garden, you can introduce yourself." And then Mahaprabhu was lying there, taking rest, and King Prataparudra gathered all his courage and started to massage the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chanting this song, Tavakatam Ritam, which is being sung by the gopis 5,000 years ago. And what is the meaning? Is that who is more munificent? No one is more munificent than him, which is spreading the glories of Lord Krishna all around the planet. So this has been, and when this king, when chanted this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who didn't want even to approach him, embraced him and said, "You say the truth." And who is this song is prophesying? The upcomings of which personality? Who is this personality which actually, by which Lord Krishna's activities are spread around the world? Who is this person? Prabhupada. Prabhupada. So it's confirmed by the gopis and by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by also Prithivityache Yatanagan Vigram, Sarvatra Pracharebe Moranam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, in every town and village my name will be chanted. And we can hope this world somehow that will be elevated or will be released of so much sufferings, let's say, by this movement of Sankirtan movement. You have something to add, please?
Early in the class, you mentioned the questions that someone asked John Lennon and other people.
Who?
Yeah, do you remember? And the materialists were saying, "I want to be a pilot."
Yeah.
And John Lennon said, "I want to be happy."
Yeah.
But don't you agree? Basically, it's the same thing. They also want to be happy, because a pilot either wants to earn money to be happy, or they want to be a pilot to be happy, or they want to do these professions to be happy.
Yeah.
So they just don't realise that they're also looking for happiness. Is that not true, or maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong perspective?
Yeah, I say, Anandamayo Vyasa, all living entities all living entities are looking for happiness. Even the trees, even the plants. You put a little plant in a box, you make a little hole where there is some light, the plant will go to the light.
So basically, they don't
Yes.
understand they're looking for happiness.
Yes, but becoming a pilot will not necessarily make you happy.
No.
That's the thing. I remember I was distributing books in Los Angeles airport. Which is this airport name? Tom Bradley? No, not Tom Bradley. LAX. Yes, Tom Bradley Airport. And I met one pilot driver, you know. He said, I was a pilot, but I was bored and just see blue sky all day long, you know. I canceled this job, you know. Yes. So, but what to know, what is the true path of real happiness?
Yeah,
But
they think that will make them
happy.
happy.
Yeah. But as we say, everybody look for happiness, but may not look for in the right directions. Mm-hmm. And as a result, they become miserable. Looking for happiness, yes, but not in the right direction. So the right direction is given by the Vedic authorities, I believe. If we can follow, it takes some energy on ourselves. We're not just completely dependent, doing nothing. We have to practice. Something else? 1, 2, yes.
You mentioned that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur distributes different Shakti to different disciples. So I think this is a very important point also, that the Guru, you know, he can empower his disciple different way. And so that is a very important point, I think, and that the attitude that the disciple has toward the Guru to advance in Krishna consciousness, and we can get so much mercy. But in my own experience, I realize that it's not easy to understand that, even when you are with your Guru, that you can get a lot of mercy from him, and for myself, I realized that I missed a lot of mercy because I did not realize how my Guru could give me more. You know, that was my experience in my life. I was so neophyte, I could not see the power of my Guru, but at least what he gave me helped me still today to go on.
But this was not marriage, right?
Yeah. But any Guru, you know, is so powerful. We don't realize how powerful is a Guru.
Yeah.
He gets so much mercy. He gets himself so much power because of his austerity and standing fully of Krishna. And so he can give, but we can get also, but it's not easy to understand when we are neophyte, so even serving the Guru.
Yeah. Devotees sometimes are compared to cows. You know, if you slap the cow, she will kick you, you know. It's natural. But if you are kind with the cow, you know, she will give her milk unlimitedly, you know. That's why I was saying the other day, I had this realization when I was doing Bhajamandal Parakram. I rather try to avoid, you know, all the offenses to the person, you know, don't do this, just try to please that person. It will transcend all the... I was feeling about, you know, for example, walking barefoot on Rajmandal Parikrama. It pleased the Dham. You know, so you're not thinking, oh, if I don't do this, if I do that, you know, you're doomed already. But if you just do the activities, try to, by pleasing the person you want to please, then the job is done, practically speaking. And as you know, it's
very positive the way. Otherwise, you know, if you always think, oh, I'm not able to do that, I'm not. You know, this is very negative also. It can make you down. But if you are confident and say, okay, at least I do something.
Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj Ki Jai. Thank you very much for your patience.
Hare Krishna.
HG Rajadharma Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.